Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of the week again. Well, we have got a beautiful scene coming our way. Welcome to the Wednesday Cup. Round 3 of the championship, where raw, snarling TVR Speed 6 machines take that centre stage. And I'm telling you what, from Hockenheim Ring, it's not the GP circuit, it's the national one. So look out. It's short, it's fast, deceptively simple. And this layout is a trap waiting to be sprung. I launched down the Mong Main Straight, engine screaming in protest before the heavy braking test of turn 2. That definitely sorts the brave from the cautious. From there, it's pure rhythm. The sweeping parabolica, a snap into the hairpin, and that all-important blast towards the stadium section where precision matters more than horsepower. These 6 speeds love it here. Light, loud tail, happy little beasts that reward commitment and punish hesitation. Every corner demanding nerves, every straight inviting overconfidence, and every lap tightens the screws. It's classic Wednesday Cup chaos, elbows out, daft trains forming, and drivers trying desperately to keep these twitchy weapons pointed vaguely forward. Well, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. This is round 3. This is TVR Speed 6 at full noise, and this is Simsational TV. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another iteration of the Wednesday Cup live on Simsational TV. My name is Zach O'Reilly, and I'm joined by a man who gets always confused with 2 cricketers in the Australian land. That would be Mr. Peter Clark, the extraordinaire himself. Mate, how are you tonight?
Raring to go. Just come off a really good night with the GT Challenge and straight into these Tuscans, which are quite the handful to watch them.
Yeah, mate, they are 100%, and we've seen the car behaviour throughout this series get absolutely wild. We've seen some beautiful driving positions as well come out, some unlikely victors, and penalties definitely coming your way here. They're lining up for qualifying very shortly, so let's get to the track map. This is where we are. It is Hockenheim National. Round 3 of the championship, 15 turns, 3.7 kilometres of action, 8-minute qualifying session as always, 15-minute race 1, 16-minute race 2 with a top 10 reverse grid to start that, and a race 3 is a top 15 reverse grid. Air temps 28, it's 39 on the circuit, and the fastest man in practice was Fabian Fitness. And he's in second place in the championship. So let's bring that up there. And he's coming only 8 points behind the leader, Jake Buttigieg, on your screen. Tommy Corks is in third place, McFadden 4th, and the Birdman there in 5th, Peter.
Yeah, and then taking a look in 6 positions, Remo Grant, he's had a pretty good start to the season, consistently inside the top 10, scoring those points. Then we go to Brody Barber. He's only a few points behind. It's only a 3-point difference. We're only in round 3, so it's pretty early stages of the championship, but it is already looking like to be a one tight battle in this championship. Lee James in 8th, and then Andre Elliott in 9th. Probably should be a little bit further up, but unfortunately at the Glen was caught up in a few incidents and wasn't able to score the points that he really should have. And Andrew Ferguson in 10th position, 208 points, finds himself 5 points short of that 9th position, but a good race weekend here. We could see him jump quite a fair way up these standings.
Yeah, he will, and he's on song tonight. He was very quick in that practice session. You saw him on the timing tower go forth and be himself inside that top 10. So look out for that man. He is well and truly ready to go. And speaking of which, everyone right now is just firing out for qualifying. 8 minutes has ticked over, and they've got 7 minutes and 50-odd seconds to get their fast laps in. And it's one man, Lee Crowther, who has taken the lead. The Birdman, we like to call him. He's come out firing here in that black and white thing, just like the magpie he represents. He's the Birdman, and he's getting his first stab here at Hockenheim Ring. But the question is, who's going to take it out tonight from this man, Fabian Fitness? Or is it going to be his compatriot? I hope I've got the right car here in Jake Buttigieg. Do as well, the Air Malta livery. These two are big leviathans of the Wednesday Cup, Peter. And I'll tell you what, when we see them get close on a racetrack, it is very entertaining.
It absolutely is. Both Fabian and Jake here, race winners so far this season. Of course, Fabian nearly went for the three-peat last time around, in the Glen, and unfortunately came a little bit unstuck by the time it came to the third race. Jake Buttigieg has won in both Silverstone and Watkins Glen, so he is on some absolute fine form. But both of these drivers at the moment are currently sitting in a fair bit of traffic as they start their outlap here. It's only about 6.5 minutes left of the session, so they're only going to get a couple of laps in here, maybe a maximum of 4 laps really is the go here, with the lap times hovering around about the 1.5 minutes or more. In practice though, Fabian Coulthard, he was under that 1 minute 30, so he is looking absolutely rapid.
He is definitely, and I'll tell you what, it's a good time to see how rapid this man is. The Birdman, Lee Crowther, will go on board with him and ride around the Hockenheim National Ring here. It's a quick fire into turn 1. Got to be very careful on the exit there too, because the track limits are very punishing. Now it's super braveness. Get the car dancing on the rear tyres into the heavy braking zone number 2. Then we fire out the other side. This is the mini version of the back straight that we are normalised to, so to speak, and it is incredible. These guys know what to do. It's a long little dash here, but the GP circuit fangs off to the left, and it's a heavy braking zone. Flap it down into second gear, slide that car out, get the nose pointed to the exit as soon as you can, and rotate that TVR. You've got to get it done right, else you are in all sorts of trouble. Quick fire into the left, another braking zone that you can easily overcook the car, and Lee's doing a great job here at the moment, looking cool, calm and collected. But is it going to be quick? We'll find out. Now it's the stadium section. A quick fire dash down the straight over the checkered flags, break after the AstroTurf on the left hand side, into the AstroTurf on the right, then further out the other side as well. So you can use track limits out there, but if you go too far, you will get a track cut. Birdman flying through this thing, pun intended. He's just absolutely dancing this TVR Speed 6 Cabrera all over the Hockenheim ring circuit. He's loving life. The last little section through this stadium, very technical last 2 corners there, double right-handers basically, and you've got to nail the throttle early here. You can get it done as quick as you can as the Birdman sets a lap here, and it's going to be a 1 minute 30.690 to surround out proceedings here early on in this run. Haxter's come through in second place, but Fabian Fitness is there, and look who is right there, Peter. Jake Buttigieg in the top.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about it just before. There's really 2 guys on peak form at the moment, and that is Jake Buttigieg. But it's actually Corksy who's come through. Tommy Corks, he's the first driver to break into the 29s, and it's a 29.4. So he hasn't just crept into the 29s here. He has absolutely blitzed in it, and currently has about half a second gap over Adkins, who's currently put it into second position with the 130.1. And looking at the mini sectors there of Tommy's next lap, so he's only going strength to strength because he's now set a purple first sector, and it looks like he's got a fair bit of traffic to deal with at the front as well. So let's see if they can get out of his way nicely. They're taking it as best avoiding action as they can. They can do all they want, but sometimes the distraction is just enough, knowing that there's cars around you when you're trying to dial in mentally to complete a lap here. He's getting pretty close here to this second sector. At the moment, looking like green and purples in the micro sectors, and it is another purple. So Tommy Corks here, just got half a second over the field. Expect this to go even further. Yeah,
they're going to try and hit that 28 mark. They were doing 1 minute 28s around in practice. That was the quickest times out there in that sort of realm of proceedings. Fergo gets out of the way nicely. But there goes the first 29 for Lee Crowther. 29.424 is only 500ths of a second slower than... quicker, sorry, than Tommy Corks is the Birdman, but Alex McEwen set a 29.2. This is going to be quick here from Tommy Corks. He's going to come across the line now, and no, unfortunately for him, a 29.766 was his. It was showing everything there to be a quicker lap, but he couldn't get the job done. But one man who's inserted himself back into the Wednesday Cup is Alex McEwen, a seasoned regular at the best of times, has finally got his university studies done, found some extra time, and decides to come over and race these TVRs tonight. He said, from mid-pack I'll be happy, and I said, look, you're the Lewis Hamilton of calling whatever result is going to come your way. Possibly you'll set up a pole lap the minute after you've said your tyres are dead, and he just goes racing. One of the quick ones to look out for here tonight, Peter, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And just remember as well, he is a 6-time champion of the Wednesday Cup. So he is for sure one to expect to be up at the front. For Tommy Corks as well, it was all undone in that final sector in the stadium section. I reckon the cars in front of him didn't quite get out the way as well as he was probably hoping, and in that final sector it was just a heap of greys in the micros, so I feel like the last sector really let him down. But one person who's definitely improving here is Colton Atkins. He's currently set 2 green sectors on this next flying lap for himself. He currently actually sits in 6th position. He's about a second away off the pace's fitness. He's now put it in, and McEwen now goes faster. So we're just saying how well McEwen's going to be, and there he is. He has gone straight to the top. The 29 flats are in the record books now, and it is only about 15 thousandths of a second currently between first and second. Colton remains in 6th position. It was a slight improvement on the lap time, but these lap times keep coming in as the track slowly starts to rubber in.
Yeah, definitely, and it's very, very close. It is B's Dick material here at the top between McEwen and Corks. They're going hammer and tong, and Fabian's not too far away himself, only a 10th.5 behind these three. So the top 3 separated by under 0.2 of a second with the dying moments of qualifying. We've got a minute left to go now, ladies and gentlemen. The time is ticking. Clint Olive's already put it in the pits. He's happy with himself, so he's done. So is Andrew Ferguson too. The track camera would give me a better one. Oh, Fergo's going to get out for one more, but no, he won't, because the timing tower will tick down. The Hackster is back on the grid, ladies and gentlemen, and he is flying around to another pink livery car, so we've got to look out for him as well. Don't get him confused with Alex McEwen, but he is setting a little bit of a improvement himself. He'll get around one more time, Daft Punk style, to get this job done here too. William Wallace in one of the best liveries on the circuit as well. The number 88 flying happy Namco machine there, sitting in 10th, but it's been a change for position for P2. The Birdman has come through and got P2 off Lee Crowther. So has Jake Buttigieg too. So that is 3rd place now for Buttigieg, and it is split between the top 3, ladies and gentlemen, by under 0.5 of a second. That is how close it is. 7 seconds left to go in qualifying. Where's McEwen? He's just setting his final last lap dash, as he always does, with barely seconds to go. Tommy Corks is still flying around. His first sector has not been anything of things to shout about and start celebrating early if he wants to get that pole position. A couple of drivers have finished. Olaf, Atkins and Ferguson have already rounded out their final goes. Now it's going to be up to this man, the Birdman, setting purples in the micro sectors, but not a PB here for him in any of the first 2. This is coming down to the dying moments in qualifying for our top 4 drivers.
Yeah, Lee Crowther using a lot of curb there, going through the Mercedes corner as he now heads into the stadium section. It's currently sitting in P4, and it is such tight margins at the top. We're talking about how the 20... We're getting excited when they start going into the 29s, when the first lap started going through. At the moment, the top 8 all in the 29s, and then Wallace in P9. He's crossed the line. He's not getting another lap in. He's in the 1 minute 30s and 0.5. Alex McEwen here currently fastest by that bare margin of only 15 thousandths of a second. Currently green in the second sector. He's got a couple of purple micro sectors as well in this final section. There's Fabian Fitness, a 28.7. Buttigieg, 28.8. It is barely a 10th at the top of the session, coming in right at the death of it. Corks goes 3rd, McEwen goes 2nd, and wow, look at that margin. That is absolutely nothing here in qualifying.
Nothing at all. That was a fantastic end to the qualifying session. Fabian Fitness came through with the chockies. Buttigieg thought he had him, but he was a 10th.5 behind. Alex McEwen has jumped Buttigieg as well, but this man is coming 2nd in the championship, wanting to fight that position very, very strongly, is Fabian Fitness. He gets 1st place. We'll go to the official timing tower there. Fitness 1st place, McEwen 2nd, Buttigieg in 3rd. Tommy Corks was there as they all start to exit the server. We're only going to get the top 5. In fact, Brendan Hart did get 6th, so did and 7th for McFadden. My Bus, Lee James all came through within that top 10, and Remo Grande rounded out the final position in that as well. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is qualifying done and dusted. We've got 3 races coming your way, as always, here in Simsational TV. And I'll tell you what, he will be right up there for sure. This is Wednesday Cup, ladies and gentlemen. Race 1 is coming your way. We will be back here in just a hot second. Don't you go anywhere.
SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training. one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. First of three tonight coming our way. Race 1 of the Wednesday Cup. And it is taken by this man on your screen right now. Fabian Fitness is the man off the front row. A very, very smart looking vehicle at the best of times. We need your predictions in the chat as well, with Bradley Cairns in there. Thomas Mozzarella, the head of the cheese board, not racing tonight. He's in the chat too. Fabian Fitness just gives himself a bit of a G up as well. But give your predictions here for this one, Peter. What have you got in your mind for the predictions?
Well, I think with the wild card of McEwen, who hasn't raced at all so far this season, first time out in round 3, putting it on the front row means that even with his off time, he has not lost anything. So I think we're going to see an absolute nail-biting finish between Fitness and McEwen. Throw Buttigieg in there as well. Tommy Corks has been showing some great pace. I reckon pretty much anyone inside the top 7 or 8 has a really good shout at winning this one.
Very, very nice comments from the super coach himself, Peter Clark, there speaking. It's a pretty packed grid there. We've got some talent. Fitness, McEwen, Buttigieg, Corks, Crowther, Hack, Olaf Atkins, and Fergo. Jeez Louise, that's something to behold there for sure. But it's coming to that crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. Now the nerves will be kicking in. The palms are getting a bit sweatier as these boys start to settle in for the race. It is nearly go time. Who are we going to get out there? Give us your predictions in the chat, because I'll tell you what, with this sort of action coming your way, it could mean anything. Tommy Corks is flashing the lights there. Oh, 4 of them, in fact, are flashing the lights all on the right-hand side of the grid. They're ready and racing and ready to go. We're all having a chat there as well. It's plenty of friends out there until the lights go green. And that is why the Wednesday Cup is so special. And these boys know exactly how to go about it. Cracking looking liveries out there too, by the way. These guys know how to go racing, and we are about to be doing exactly that. The lights are up, ladies and gentlemen. It is 5 lights that have to blink themselves out. The 6th one is the dying moments, and we are about to go racing here in the Wednesday Cup, and we are off. And there is Fabian Fitness, gets a good jump there, but McEwen's also right there with him. Into turn 1, just cuts the nose off him beautifully straight away. McEwen's going for the wide berth. Fabian's just downshifting and upshifting at the same time. He's on the slide there early on in this one. McEwen's coming at him at a rate of knots already. He's the dark horse, not in the championship. Doesn't give a rat's toss back as McEwen is trying to fight it around the outside, trailer park girl style. Into turn 2 we go. Finally, these guys get through. There's a bit of carnage in the background that we missed, but Corks has jumped Jake Buttigieg as well. So very, very nice driving indeed here for these boys. It's all starting to get feisty and bumpy in the background. You've got Paul Buttigieg here having a good old tussle tussle there between himself and Bearcut and William Wallace. Then you've got Holyoke, McFadden, Sam Bensley all coming through at a rate of knots there too. They're trying to fight for position. Buttigieg's just in Paul, this is senior, is really fighting it. Up the inside he goes. Very clean as a whistle for these boys, and it's a good opening half of this lap so far. McFadden and Holyoke are having a good old tussle too. McFadden's just sitting there in the Simblacks car. You've got a lot of guys trying to do it, and Clint Olive's come off the track and got punted and see you later, and turned around there as well. Our first incident only took 10 corners to happen, and boy oh boy is this man in the dead set mare department. But up front here, Tommy Corks is giving Alex McEwen something to think about so early on in this race. The sliding, the slip angle, the exit on the corner is just so crucial around this stadium section, and it looks like here that Tommy Corks is giving Alex McEwen a bit of a run for his money, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. Very unfortunate there for Olive. He was trying to do everything right by coming back onto the track off the racing line. Unfortunately, with the first lap shenanigans, it's always going to be a case of the racing line is anywhere on the black stuff, trying to find your own piece of real estate, figure out where you are in this race and trying to figure out who you need to be racing. But Corks here looks very racy. Does he show the nose down the inside at turn 2? He doesn't. He backs out of it right at the last moment, which gives McEwen a little bit of a better run out of the corner, and that's a bit of breathing space between him and Corksy here, and that will now allow him to maybe put a bit more focus in front of him, try and catch Fabian Fitness. There's 0.4 of a second between first and second. It's less than a second covering the entire top 3, and don't forget Buttigieg and Crowther right there as well in P4, P5, battling further down the field as well between Grand and Holyoke. But we'll keep our eyes at the front because this is really getting spicy as they try and use all the track that is available to them. But you have to be very careful where you do that because some areas will absolutely bite if you take a little bit too much of the AstroTurf. He's wide though, heading into the Mobile 1 corner, and that may ruin any chance that he did have at trying to go for a dive bomb down in here. But the top 3 still sit first, second, and third from where they started.
Yeah, they do, but they're doing a good job of giving each other some good braking and acceleration markers, because they have not been able to let go of each other, and it's been a beautiful scenario for everyone in sundry here in the top 3. It's not getting too feisty in the background. McFadden, however, has just started to gap a little bit closer to the rear end of the haircut there in front of him, so he'll be looking very racy. Will Jason McFadden, another quick customer, knows how to get inside the top 10 and has been incentivized to do so, because I tell you what, he gets every single cent, 1 cent per McFadden album sold from his cousin Brian inside the top 10 on a given day. So he could be up to 10 grand, he could be up to 100 grand by the end of it, depending on how much the bloke sells. But he's getting closer here, and speaking of getting closer too, here's Alex McEwen. He's gapped Tommy Corks. Fabian's just chose the wide line. Oh, look at that, up the inside. That was very ambitious from the both of them. In fact, Fabian just tried to get the car pointed and turned on the exit, but it looks like he's just struggling at the moment under brakes. The bias at the moment not working for him. Alex has got a little bit more of confidence in those tight braking sections, but out the other side goes Fabian Fitness. Just gave us something to look at there for sure. Let's go. Let's get off these guys and keep going back down the grid, because that will be fired up very shortly, because Ezra Simons inside the top 10 has got Wallace in front of him, and he's flying it around. Look at that for a 4-wheel drift. Just gets on the anchors to save himself from going into that very sticky outside gravel position. Oh boy, are these boys racing hard up and down the field.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Best part is we've got 2 more races of it, a 16-minute and a 17-minute race. Who's that that's gone off? And they've made contact as well. Is that Meebus and Zaya have had a issue? And one of them, which is Zaya, is currently still stuck on the grass. It looks like got a little bit wide onto the gravel going through there, spun back across the circuit, and unfortunately collected another vehicle with them, and that seems to be 2 cars out of the running so far here in race 1, as it looks like everyone just may be struggling a little bit for grip. We know these cars are very grip limited. They've got for their weight, you know, they only weigh about 1100 horsepower, but 1100 kilos, but they push out nearly 400 horsepower. So the power to weight ratio is definitely up there to create such a fun car to drive, and with the tires they're running as well, very grip limited, and we can see that at the moment as well. With them power sliding everywhere, making mistakes, and that's exactly what you wanted to see, because it produces very close racing. Doesn't really allow anyone to break away. And we're seeing that at the front with Fitness. It's not being able to pull away. That gap's still about 0.3 of a second. There is a little bit more of a gap between second and third, but Wallace here is still hounding the back of Simons here for P9 and for P10, and you can see the rear end looking quite unstable heading through the Mobile 1 corner as they head into the stadium section. It's still all to play for completely up and down the field.
Up and down the field, in fact, and you can, as you said, you can just see them just dancing all over it like a tap dancer and a bloody Irish dancer as well. Look at that from Ezra Simons. Doesn't care about tyre wear. He's just trying to have some fun, pushing that car to the limit and really, really flooring the accelerator. You can see the amount of steering angle he has on, just understeering out of the exit. That's how his driving style is, and that is why we love to see him go racing, the both of them, and into that first corner there. William Wallace just absolutely overcooked it. Gives Ezra Simons a bit of a breather. So that little battle there gaps itself out to 0.4 of a second. But this is the best view and the best time that Alex McEwen has had opportunity-wise to take P1 off Fabian Fitness. They've both ran it deep into there. Tommy Corks is going to get involved if they keep battling. Fabian on the defensive line. He's just stuck the nose in half defensively there, and he's came out the other side still in front. But Alex McEwen is just absolutely giving him everything to think about in the rear vision mirror. A pink car is nothing to see in the rear vision mirror other than danger. You don't want something covered behind you like that. And I'm telling you, one quick customer is Alex McEwen. Fabian's got it all to race for here, and Tommy Corks has just started to get himself back into this one. Fantastic racing. They're all split by at least 0.7 of a second from P1 to 3. Nothing between them, and they're just going hammer and tong between them all. Jake Buttigieg has not been able to get onto the back of this one. He can see his championship just starting to decrease and slip away from him every time this lap goes around, and he's falling further behind this leading pack 3, Peter. This is going to be interesting for the dying moments of race 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Buttigieg made me thinking of the long term, knowing there's still 7 minutes of racing left, plenty of time for things to unfold. He's definitely in a box seat, though. If one of the top 3 has a bit of a mistake, wipe each other out, he's there to take the pieces, and that will only help his championship. Oh, that's a massive moment. Hayden Wallace, he's out of the course. He's gone through the crowd, through the stadium, and he's now found himself in the outfield. He's probably in the parking view section, actually. This is probably where they tend to put on the car shows. He's decided to add himself. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go and look at a race spec Tuscan TVR Speed 6 out in the outfield of turn 1 here in the Hockenheim. The other ones are racing, though, as he manages to jump it over the underbridge, and he's still going. He hasn't found his way back onto the track, and at this race, he's spending more time in the fan section than on track. But the Namco car has finally found his way back on track. Went off in the braking zone of turn 1, has re-emerged at the apex of turn 2, and I can't say I've seen that one before.
That was like Kimi Räikkönen in Formula 1 at Interlagos. Went completely off and tried to go back up onto the MotoGP start line to get back on the circuit, saw it was blocked off, and was like, had to do a flick spin and turn around, and that gave him absolutely nothing for the rest of the race. But poor old, geez Louise, that was incredible stuff. Unfortunately, that was not what we want to see, and that unfortunately is just a track gap in the wall. Invisible walls may be visible, but the contact is invisible, and I'm telling you now, there's been nothing of that sort between these two so far, and the third one as well, between McEwen, Fabian Fitness and Tommy Corks. They've absolutely shown us how to go racing, and Alex McEwen was just about there as well, and just had to check himself up, which means Tommy Corks is going to come at him at a rate of knots here too. Corks can sniff a P2, and he does, up the inside.
Oh.
Beautiful send there, but just thinks twice about it. Has a little bit of bravery, nearly takes the arse end out of Alex McEwen's car in the proceedings too, just chopped the nose off. Did Alex on the exit, and Tommy Corks thought he had P2, all signed, sealed and delivered. Off to the races, he went, nearly cashed in all that money that he puts into his cars, but geez Louise, that was close between those top 3. It is so clean here. These guys are just gapping each other by only micro tenths each lap. It goes up and down between 3 to 4 tenths, and it's been doing that this whole race. This top 5 is now starting to become one frame, and if one person decides to start the battle, it is going to be a very, very large battle gap here between the two of them. They will all be thinking about it at the lead pack, but it's then the minor placing. They're starting to get hot property, and there goes Jake Buttigieg Buttigieg, full on the anchors, four-wheel slides over the outfield onto those sausage curves, bounces his way across, comes out the other side. But Fitness has got McEwen now. A little bit of a breathing space for this man in the Plus Fitness livery TVR. Holy mackerel, has he put on a show so far, and he knows that championship is ever getting closer to him being in P1 with Buttigieg still stuck in 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. McEwen had quite the run coming through turn 4 last time around. Had the run on Fitness, tried to show the nose. Fitness slammed the door shut, and we've got the throttle and the brake traces whenever we jump on board with someone. And for McEwen, in that very moment, you saw him very briefly jump out of the throttle, and that tiny little blip in momentum was enough for Corks to try and mount an attack. In the end, McEwen was able to hold on to that position as we've now taken a look here at James McFadden. He's been holding all right in P11. The battle, though, between Buttigieg and Grant has slowly quietened down a little bit. It looks like it's going to be tightening up once again, and McFadden, prime position, 0.8 of a second behind to try and pick up any pieces that may get left behind. Further down the field, though, Moore doing all right as well, trying to close in on Harden. Back to the front. It's we're still looking at McEwen here. It's a real battle of the Titans, isn't it? Because in between first and second, there's 11 Wednesday Cup championships. If that's not a battle of the Titans, I don't know what is.
No, you're right there, 100%. Because when you've got experience and it shows out in front, you definitely become a cleaner driver and you know how to go racing, and that's why you end up getting championships, because you just stay out of trouble, get your pace up, do the practice, put the hard yards in and go for it. But Fabian Fitness's last lap was a 29.2. Alex McEwen's was a 28.7. Flying is Alex McEwen at the moment in some clean air. He just can't get past Fabian, who's putting on a very, very nice defensive driving class to show what Alex McEwen cannot do, which is pass. So fantastic racing from these guys. It's strategical stuff. It's the checkers versus chess sort of gameplay here at the moment between the lot of them. And they know what to do when it comes to the death, because it is coming very, very quickly. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this one. Fabian looked like he outbroke himself there, but pulled on the anchors. McEwen now is just giving a bit of aggression. He knows that there's only 2 and a bit laps left to go in this one, and he wants that P1 just to show them all how it's done here from a veteran of Wednesday Cup. That is unbelievable stuff. 2 quality drivers going at it here. Now we're racing hammer and tonk. This is close here from McEwen. Have a look from the front view from his car. He's just showing the nose, putting the blowtorch now on Fabian. So close there to the rear bumper was Alex, but he knew what he was doing. He knew he had it all covered. He broke just that little bit earlier. He's trying to send it up there late. Fabian's just parking it mid-corner every single place that Alex tries to get the job done. This is why you watch quality here at Simsational TV, the Simsational Esports Wednesday Cup, putting on a show. We have got 2 very, very large Leviathans here. P1 and 2 racing around. This will be the final lap of the race, because it is 1 minute and 26 seconds as they cross the line. The timer will run out and it will be the white flag. So we've got to be careful here. So does McEwen too, because that was very close. That was a brake check. They both, all 3 of them in fact, pushed themselves wide there onto turn 1. That is how hard they are going for it. Fabian's gone mid-track again. McEwen's sitting right there. He's trying to trailer park Girling. Fabian's just darted it to the left and he's giving Alex McEwen no hope. Buttigieg's getting himself involved in this one too. This is a 4-way suck train here down the back straightaway. Now it's all split. They're only 0.2 of a second by average between P1 to 4 here, ladies and gentlemen, to open the proceedings. McEwen's gone for it down the inside. Is he going to get the job done? Fabian's outbraked himself, and there goes Alex McEwen. Well, look at that. Fabian Fitness trying to go to the switchback, and he's made contact there with McEwen as well. They both will have a ballast restrictor on their cars as well for that one. Goodness gracious me, but McEwen has come out in front. Tommy Corks is now under pressure here from Buttigieg too for 3rd place. The podium is getting snatched off him here if he's not too careful. Boy oh boy, in the fair dinkum department. Fitness versus McEwen there. That was a battle of Leviathans on show, on point, and it just goes to show that the pressure does mount if you are that car in front. Alex McEwen has taken P1. And he's going to take it to the flag, ladies and gentlemen. There's 14 seconds left to go here in race 1. What a onslaught from these 2 drivers, putting on a show here right at the death. It was sort of boiling and getting the kettle sort of to that whistling stage, and then it did overflow. And it's going to be McEwen to take P1 at the death. As we cross the line now, he will take that one. Thank you, mother, for the rabbit. 6/10 away is Fabian Fitness. Tommy Corks will get 3rd. Jake Buttigieg crosses the line in 4th, and the Birdman gets 5th.
What a finish. We were saying at the start that it was going to be a really close one. It was going to be battled right down to the line, but I was not expecting it to be 4 cars battling it out for the win on the last lap. Corks nearly actually got the move done on Fitness as well, and that could have dropped Fitness down to third, but going down into Mercedes' corner. He kind of backed out of it right on the apex. It was a little bit awkward, but they got through with no contact, and that kind of then let Tommy become a bit more open for attack from Jake Buttigieg. But yeah, Jake Buttigieg, he's done exactly what he needs to do. He's not going to be holding on to the championship lead after the end of this one. It was only 8 points between the two of them. But again, there's still 2 races to go, 2 thrilling races left to go tonight. And it is all going to be on. I reckon, based off the racing we've seen so far this season, this championship is going to go down to the wire, and all of the races are going to be going down to the wire to finish out the top 10 as well. You got Hack, Adkins, Ferguson, Buttigieg, and McFadden rounding out the points. Very close in that midfield battle as well. Only a 10th and a half between Simmons and Grant for 11th and 12th. As well, I'm very excited for the next one because it's going to be a reverse top 10 grid.
It will be. That is exactly what it will be, ladies and gentlemen. Reverse top 10 for this one. And those boys put on a show for us. I can guarantee you that was some fantastic racing indeed. Loved every single moment of that. But one victor is the man who just rocked up and said, thank you, I'll have that one. And that is Alex McEwen. It's been beautiful, beautiful stuff to see. He's back. He knows how to do it, and that is why he is right up there for sure. Jake Buttigieg had to settle for 4th place. He will be fighting for that championship. I can give you the hot tip at this stage. Really, really struggling for pace in that one, but he will be fine. He will come back for another go, and these boys have set us up for an absolute rip snorter here tonight. It was McEwen, Fitness, Corks, Buttigieg, and the Birdman taking out the top 5. That is exactly what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful, beautiful racing from them, in fact, and it is on like Donkey Kong for the rest of them. I can tell you right now, this is going to be interesting. McFadden is going to take P1. He got the top 10 that he needed, and he will be up there for sure. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. Get those condiments refilled, get them set up, get racy, and strap yourselves in for another 2 races coming your way tonight. It is race 2, the Wednesday Cup, back in just a few moments.
Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and and distracted driving resources.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. And it is one man who is off pole position. This is race 2. 16 minutes of hardcore action coming our way here. And with that reverse top 10 grid, it puts McFadden out in front. Perfect opportunity for him to gain some sense in the monetary department from his cousin, Brian. In fact, he will take out P1 to start. Paul Buttigieg in P2. He'll be very, very happy with that one. He's got the chockies over his young fella who's sitting back down there in 7th place, respectively. Andrew Ferguson in 4th. Colton Atkins gets 5th. The Hackster is 6th place for him. No, he's 5th place, sorry. 6th place for Birdman. 7th for Buttigieg. 8th for Tommy Cork. 9th for Fabian Fitness. And then Alex McEwen has to do it the hard way here around this circuit. Get your predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, because I'll tell you what, this one could be very, very feisty, Peter.
Absolutely. Going back based off qualifying, it was the top 8 or 9, I think it was, were fairly close to each other, all in the 28s and 29s. So don't expect it to be very easy for the top 4 that we saw battling it out in race 1 to make their way through. Unlike last time out, Fabian Fitness came from, I'm trying to think about where it was, because he won the second race, so it was 15th, and by the end of the first couple of laps, he was in the podium positions. But the drivers will now have to put their focus to the lights, because we're getting ready for the start of race 2 here in Hockenheim. All is on the line for them, and it is going to be lights out, and we are off for the start of this one here. And it's a very taily start for Buttigieg, and it's going to allow McFadden to cruise into turn 1 to take the lead. Behind, though, they're all going to be jostling for position, finding that real estate that they all dare to have. And was that Tommy Corks in the background going for a spin? One of them has gone off into the fence by the looks of it. Sorry, it's not Tommy Corks. It was a very similar looking car that's gone off, and they found themselves further down the field. It looks like it's more maybe going down the field. We'll have to get confirmation later on, but Fitness here, he's already found himself up a few positions, and crucially, he's already ahead of McEwen here as well, so he's in a net gain position. But look at the traffic jam that has happened here at turn 5 now, and it is going to get really dicey. And it's 1.4 seconds, 1.5 seconds. The gap continues to extend as everyone behind battles it out. McFadden has absolutely bolted to try and to get this race when taking advantage of the reverse grid. And it's Ferguson battling against Buttigieg as we head into the stadium section for the first time of asking here in race 2 down the inside. Buttigieg, is he going to be able to hold it there and keep that second position? He can. And behind, look at the absolute traffic jam.
Oh, absolutely. They're going for it here. Buttigieg, he's holding them up, but he's doing a great job. Fergo has not been able to get past him. McFadden has galloped away. There he is in the foreground. 3 seconds or thereabouts already up the field. Fitness is trying on Tommy Corks here now. He's got a net advantage over McEwen. In fact, that is, I think that is McEwen, or is that the Birdman coming into the pits? No, it is McEwen into the pits. Did he get a jump start for a drive-through? I'm not too sure there, but he's already in the pits. Now they're flogging around here. Fabian's got a free kick. His compatriot in Jake Buttigieg is way in front of him now, because he's just trying to fight for position over himself and Colton Atkins. Down the inside goes Jake. Gets that job done, but for now, Atkins has just contacted with him, and that's checked up everyone behind. That was Lee Crowther trying to get himself involved in that one. The Birdman is coming through, but so is Tommy Corks there on the RZ now of Colton Atkins. He just got a restricted penalty, so he's got 10% less horsepower under his hood. It's not affecting him here, but it is. Have a look at that from the Birdman. Just opportunistic stuff up the inside, and a touch there for Atkins and Simons too. Nearly came to disaster there as well. Holy cow, it's all happening up and down the field. Moore's lost a couple of positions. Wallace and James have come together as well. They're changing places all the way up and down the field. Fergo is still up the arse end here of Jake Buttigieg's old man in Paul. He can't get this job done here. Paul is driving really nicely defensively here. Oh, a bit of respect shown between the two of them. That was close. That was very hairy indeed between Ferguson and Buttigieg. But in all this battling, he's just letting McFadden just gallop away to a 3.5 second lead over this battle pack. And it is on like Donkey Kong here. We'll have a look from overhead. And I'll tell you what, it's getting feisty. Look at Fitness come back through the field here, Peter. He's on a rampage.
Absolutely, as that's Tommy Corks getting it all wrong as he runs wide off the end there of the last two corners. It is actually a drag strip, so definitely not something you want to be getting your wheels onto, as Fabian Fitness now makes a very easy move ahead of Ferguson, and that's Hayden Wallace. He had the big issue going into the shoulder shine area outside of turn 1 as he managed to find probably the one and only hole in the wall at turn 1 and is off the circuit once more, nearly 3 wide heading down into turn 2 with Colton Atkins here in his car, and that's going to be battling it for 8th position. He's got Simons all over the back of him as well in 9th position, and this battle hasn't really broken apart. It's still 3.5 seconds between first and second, and then everyone is well and truly within a second as they're all getting sideways, all running it down deep, all trying to find where they want to be battling it out. Corksy is still trying and get a move done around the outside of Crowther there, and it looks like he's going to get this one done, so that puts him up into 6th position. But so far it is a Buttigieg leading Fitness in 3rd and 4th, and that's going to prove absolutely crucial when it comes to the championship. These two absolutely battling it out for the championship this time around, as Hack has come to a stop on the circuit. What's going on here?
I'm not sure. He's got no pedal inputs. He's got nothing. A hardware issue here for the Hackster. He's not going anywhere fast. Atkins has been turned around in the meantime as well in all that battle pack too. So 2 cars off at the same time on the circuit. Atkins is going to sail down to 16th place, I reckon, by the time he gets back onto the grid. But it is Buttigieg Senior leading the miniature one, and the OM Malta boys are going at it. I'm telling you right now, this is cracking stuff. I don't know what these boys are doing, but geez Louise, in the fair dinkum department, it's all happening. This is Buttigieg now. He's got the job done. He's trying to get it done on his old man. Here's Jake around the outside. I think Paul is just going to half let him through here and say, keep going, but we want to keep racing so we don't lose positions, because I got Fabian Fitness up me clacker here, son. So let's go racing. Look at this now. This is 3 TVRs all within a bee's dig of each other. You can see Jake and Fitness going for it too. Now it's all happening. You can see here from Fabian Fitness in car. Oh, he's just nearly brake checked into the back. He did of Paul, but around the outside goes Jake, who's got crossed up there too, and now they're all swinging 4-5 nearly in the whole pack, slip sliding their way through into turn 6. That was incredible stuff from these boys. They're all still there. Buttigieg has been taken by Fabian Fitness. That is Paul, who's now going to be under all sorts, because Cork's up the inside there too of Crowther. That was fantastic stuff. Paul is just trying to get himself out of the way here, go full defense mode up the inside. He's going to get swamped there. Oh, contacted around. That was disaster there. That is 100% Birdman into Buttigieg, and they've sent them both around. In fact, that was also Ferguson too off the circuit. He got caught up in that as well. Oh, geez, eat your heart out. Paul Buttigieg was right there, but it was a Birdman who just flung himself around the outside, tagged Buttigieg, and they both went around. Paul is going to sail back down to 15th place. Oh, disaster there, full on. The biggest winner has been this man, Ezra Simons, up into 5th place now. He's really going hammer and tong here, and he knows that he can get himself up the arse end of Tommy Corks and follow his lines. They could be on, but Jake Buttigieg is now on the hunt, ladies and gentlemen. He is dead set back in it here. He's only 2.8 seconds away from that man in front of Jason McFadden, and it is 9 minutes and 20 odd seconds left to go in race 2, Peter. Watch that gap decrease or increase. We'll only find out.
Yeah, at the moment it's definitely decreasing, and with the time left remaining, if you recall at the end of the last race as well, we crossed the line with only a few seconds shy of being able to squeeze in 2 laps, ended up only getting the 1. With this extra minute of the race, if they go about with the similar race pace we did last time round, expect to see an entire extra lap of racing, which is an entire extra lap of opportunities for those to try and get themselves further up the field. Alex McEwen, despite coming through the pit lane, he's made an excellent comeback through the field. He's currently in 9th position and definitely taking advantage of all the misfortunes of others going wide, making mistakes and crashing into each other. So he's going to be a big beneficiary out of this one, and he's also claiming very big points that otherwise it was someone who's a bit more regular in the championship who would be pretty much drooling to try and get those with how tight this is all looking to be. And as I've been talking, that gap at the front has come down a further 0.4 of a second. So it definitely looks like Jake Buttigieg is going to be on a charge, and with 8 minutes left on the road and setting the fastest lap of the race, there is absolutely time for him to try and chase down the lead and get the win off McFadden. As Ferguson goes wide at the final corner, he's going to drop a small handful of positions to Crowther and Mevis, and that will drop him down to 13th position as he heads into turn 1 using all the curb that's available, and that is going to be Crowther up to 11th, and McEwen is already onto the back now of Grand here and going to try and see if he can't make easy work of this one with the sheer pace that he's got, and most likely will be trying to look for a move on the brakes. But one thing to take note of in race 1, he has got excellent drive traction coming out the corners.
He definitely does, and he's driving the wheels off this thing. This man was in the pit lane after lap 1, and he's back up into the top 10 already. That was 9 minutes ago, and he's found himself already inside the top 10 and giving Remo Grant a big old hurry up here, giving him some curry, in fact, just brake checking himself. He knows that the pace isn't there to go full hammer and tong, but he'll get Remo here now, coming into the stadium section. If he's brave, he won't. He'll sit back behind him because he is genuinely patient, Alex McEwen. That's what wins him races. He'll just pick his mark and go for it when it's dead set on. And it is here now. He'll just send it up there. There's contact in the background. That's Lee James around. He's been punted off there as well. I think himself and Birdman got together, maybe. We'll see if there's a redress there from himself and that big man caught in 4K. Marzella's just come back through the field. He wasn't going to race tonight, and he comes in and he's in 15th. Good showing from him. Ferguson now, though, however, has got Birdman in front of him, and then my bus is right there as well. So whose bus is it going to be? Are they going to jump on board Carl's at the moment, or are they just going to sit there and hope that it doesn't come to any sort of misdemeanor between them all and then go for it? We will never know. But the gap out front has been sliced in half and a bit now. 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. Jason McFadden can see Jake Buttigieg's car getting ever so closer in that rear vision mirror of his, and he knows that he's under all sorts. Can he put up a defence, can Jason McFadden, or is Buttigieg just going to take it and hopefully gain some crucial points in that championship over Fabian Fitness, who's only one position behind him?
Yeah, with Fitness right behind him, the gap's only a second, but if he decides to sit back and sit behind McFadden, that gap is going to very quickly diminish as the battle is on. We were wondering if they were going to sit there and let the race play out. The answer is going to be absolutely not. They're going to go at this right down to the death of the race. They were momentarily, by the looks of it, 3 wide heading into the corner, and that is always dicey going 3 wide at any stage of this circuit in Germany. And it's going to be Ferguson that leads that battle pack for the. Oh, sorry, it's going to be Crowther that leads that battle pack for the moment, with Ferguson sitting in behind. Ezra Simons is all over the back of Olaf as well. It's only 0.3 of a second, and all it will take is one small moment from Olaf in front to be able to get that position. Uses all the exit available to him in between the final 2 corners, gets the power down nice and early to try and get himself a good run through here and try and carry that run through turn 1 as well to set himself up for turn 2. I reckon he's going to be a bit too far back though to try and mount any sort of attacks. But out in front though, the gap 0.3 of a second. The battle is going to be absolutely on, and if I was Jake Buttigieg, I would not be sitting behind McFadden and just seeing what happens, because with Fabian Fitness right behind in third, he is going to be going for those moves. So if I was Jake, I would be trying to get by McFadden as quickly as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see the car behaviour between the two of them now. If Jake doesn't get back into his rhythm and just tries to follow Jason around, this could mean that Fabian's going to be right on him. He's only 8 away. So it's just getting a little bit hairy here for Buttigieg. Cork in the bottle situation for Jace. He doesn't care about the championship himself. He will just genuinely dead set race all of these boys till the death, unless it's done by merit, and he should be doing so here in the Simblacks livery and TVR. But tell you what, Buttigieg is just showing the nose. The last lap for Buttigieg was a 29.2. McFadden's was a 29.7. So it is huge differences. Half a second a lap quicker. That is why he's been coming down, and he's only got 4 minutes to do it. There's an error there from McFadden. He's out wide, and that is all the invitation that Jake Buttigieg needs. Thank you very much, mother, for the rabbits. He says back up the inside, but Jason's just trying to stick there with him as well. Buttigieg has just seen him coming, but he just pulls out, and Jason is just now under pressure of all sorts. He's going to have to settle for maybe third here if Fabian Fitness goes for him, and he does. Straight around the outside, darts it to the right. Down the front straight away we go once again into the heavy braking zone. Coming their way, Fitness is going to be there. McFadden's there too. 2 Kiwis fighting it out on this Simsational Esports Wednesday Cup, and McFadden has to settle for third. How long is it going to be? Can he survive between himself and Corks coming through? We will never goddamn know until that 3-minute timing tower is set to 0 and that checkered flag is waved. Fantastic stuff. And I'll tell you what, Simon's Olaf now under all sorts, because they have got that pink mobile coming behind them. McEwen is coming at a rate of knots here on these two. Simons knows that. He doesn't want to get a position taken off him at the best of times. Tries to slip angle his way through the double right-hander. That was full commitment there from Ezra. Just had it perfectly perched there on the accelerator pedal. Olive's got nothing, and he's been touched there by McEwen, who's pirouetted himself around. Uncharacteristic from the man on the comeback trail. He was right up there, just overcooked it on the brake pedal. Nearly disaster for Ezra, but McEwen's lost out big time to that one, and it's still not over at the front here because McFadden is still in third place, showing us how to drift the TVRs. Tommy Corks, though, still not settling for fourth place at the moment. Cracking stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately for McFadden, drifting is by far not the fastest way to drive these cars. A little bit of power sliding may help, a little bit of corner exit, but doing something, as Ezra Simmons puts it, on show immediately, it is definitely not the fastest way, as he loses a bit of time to Olive in front. Luckily for McFadden, though, at the start of the race, we saw him break out to like over a 3-second lead. And fortunately for him, that does mean at this pace, the worst he can do if he keeps it on the road for the remaining 2 minutes of this race is fourth position, because I don't think Olive is going to be able to close 8 seconds to a fourth position if McFadden was to fall down that one extra spot. Paul Buttigieg, though, one Buttigieg leads the race. The other is down in 14th after unfortunately getting caught up in a bit of a tangle heading into the Mobil 1 corner, but has done all right to get himself into 14th. But for the next race, this is going to prove pretty good, because they'll, at this rate, will put him on the front row for race 3. Fabian Fitness, though, is not happy with a P2. He wants to get the race win. He was unable to go 3 from 3 in the last round. The best he can do at the moment is 2 from 3 in this round, and to do that, he's going to have to win this one, but he's got to get by Jake Buttigieg, who's been leading this one and has been looking quite comfortable in the lead since taking it.
Yeah, but he's got a very feisty customer, as we're just about to praise him. Fitness just unforced errored himself on the curb there, and it's just given a bit of a breather to Jake Buttigieg. This will be the final lap of the race coming our way once they cross the start-finish line, ladies and gentlemen. It's under a minute left to go here for these guys out in the lead pack. Tommy Corks is just about to take McFadden there too. Brian's cousin will be absolutely spewing here at the moment. He was in the lead of this race by 3.5 seconds, had it all the win, and it's just been robbed off him blind there. Corks has gone wide though onto the AstroTurf, which slows you down, and Jason's just going to take P3 again. Corks won't be happy about that. He's going to fight it again under dirty tyres as well. He doesn't outbrake himself, but Jason sort of half does there too. So he's going to have a little bit of a run there again as Tommy Corks, but look at the drive there from Brian's cousin. Just loves life out there, puts the hammer down and says, thank you, I'm out. Meanwhile, look at this little battle. Crowther and Remo Grant having a good old tussle, and Remo has been the worst one out of those two, losing P8 to the Birdman. McEwen's just sitting out there in 7th place. That's what he's going to have to settle for here for this one. The timer is about to tick down to 0, and Jake Buttigieg is leading this one by 0.6 of a second, nearly 7 tenths now between himself and Fabian Fitness. Is this going to be a little bit of a monkey see, monkey do thing for these two on your screen now? No, it's going to be single file stuff, but Corks versus McFadden could still be on for P3 here. The final step on the podium for race 2 out of 3 could be Brian's cousin. It could be Tommy Corks. Whose way is it going to go? Corks is just firing in every single possible way he can. McFadden can see it there. He can smell it. He can taste that P3. He's got to hold on here for 3 more corners here now as he rounds the final section of the Hockenheim ring. Corks is trying to go wide and make it a late apex, but he's not going to get the job done. Jake Buttigieg, however, is going to cross the line to take race 2 away from Fabian Fitness there. Beautiful, beautiful driving, and McFadden does survive for P3 over Tommy Corks. Wowee, what a little battle there we had at a change of a position. A 1st to 3rd for McFadden. He'll actually be happy with that. Clint Olive is going to be stoked with another top 5 for him. Ezra Simmons in 6th place. McEwen, after coming back through the field into 9th place with 9 minutes to go, punting someone off and pirouetting himself around, gets back into 7th, so he'll be close to the front for the next one for sure. The Birdman gets 8th place. Remo Grant 9th, and the Haircut gets the top 10. Fergo 11th. My bus, your bus, whose bus settles for 12th. Colton Atkins 13th, and Paul Buttigieg and Lee James round out the top 15, which means Paul Buttigieg is going to have another chance to lead this Wednesday Cup pack in race 3.
Yeah, it is going to be a very interesting race 3. You're going to have Paul Buttigieg back on the front row. Probably going to try and see if he can't hold a position at the front for a little bit longer. Try and stay out of trouble, which he was unable to do in race 2. But Jake Buttigieg, third race win this season. If he's not trying to tell you he's going to try and get himself as a championship contender, this race win just says otherwise. Fabian Fitness, though, his main championship rival as it stands, is right there in position 2. So I reckon if things are looking the way they have been this season, it's going to be Buttigieg versus Fitness for a good championship runner in season 19.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be close for the whole season. You can guarantee that, unless one of them decides to not rock up for a race week, and then that's all over by the shouting there for both of them. But that's your race winner. Jake Buttigieg gets P1, which means he's going to have to do it the very, very hard way for Air Malta Racing there. From 15th is where he will start in race 3. Fabian is going to be right next to him as well, with McFadden, Corks and Olaf all having to do it the hard way back through the remainder of the top 10. So, you know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get this one underway. That was a cracker of a race there. It was all up and down the field, action left, right and centre. But it's the final one for round 3 of season 19, the Wednesday Cup. Coming your way here is 17-minute reverse top 15 grid. That is going to be interesting as well. Strap yourselves in, refill those last little condiments that you have sitting next to you. And Simsational TV is going to be here for race 3. Be back in just a hot second. Forms and expertise in getting the best gear. Simsational TV has proudly partnered up with Speed Nation. It is New Zealand's go-to destination for high-performance sim gear. They also stock the best and biggest brands in the game, from Thrustmaster, Moser Racing, Next Level Racing, Sparko, Turtle Beach and more. And whether you're looking for the ultra-responsive racing wheels or pro-grade flight controls, immersive audio or rock-solid cockpits, I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has got it all. They also carry other trusted names like Butt Kicker, PT Actuators, Wheel Stand Pros, Gen Ace, Spectrum in the remote control field, and also Collective Mind. So every step and part of your setup is covered, from complete racing rigs and premium flight packs. We here at Simsational TV, back in Speed Nation, to deliver the gear that takes your experience to the next level. Fast shipping, trusted brands, unbeatable quality, and I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has it all. And as an excellent gift for all of our viewers tonight and members out there of Simsational TV, and if you're trying to get into racing, go to the checkout, buy some stuff off Speed Nation, because if you buy any full price product on the website, enter the code Simsational, that is SIMSATIONINAL. Oh my God, I can't even speak. And you will get a 10% discount off your end cart price. So go in there.
10%? 10% did you say, Zachary?
I did say 10%, mate. I did not say 5. I did not say 4. I said 10. Wow. Forms and expertise in getting the best gear. Simsational TV has proudly partnered up with Speed Nation. It is New Zealand's go-to destination for high-performance sim gear. They also stock the best and biggest brands in the game, from Thrustmaster, Moser Racing, Next Level Racing, Sparko, Turtle Beach and more. And whether you're looking for the ultra-responsive racing wheels or pro-grade flight controls, immersive audio or rock-solid cockpits, I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has got it all. They also carry other trusted names like Butt Kicker, PT Actuators, Wheel Stand Pros, Gen Ace, Spectrum in the remote control field, and also Collective Mind. So every step and part of your setup is covered, from complete racing rigs and premium flight packs. We here at Simsational TV, back in Speed Nation, to deliver the gear that takes your experience to the next level. Fast shipping, trusted brands, unbeatable quality, and I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has it all. And as an excellent gift. Yes, it is another iteration. God, I love this sort of stuff. This is fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Race 3 of round 3 in the Wednesday Cup season 19, live here on Simsational TV. And if you haven't already and you like what we're doing, please give the video a like, give a subscription to Simsational TV. It goes a long way for us as well. And click that notification bell to get yourselves ready and settled in for all of our streams coming your way here at Simsational TV. It's been a pleasure to have you all so far tonight. Still got 17 minutes of racing, though, to come our way. And with the top 15 reverse grid, it is this man who's off the front row with Jake Buttygig's dad in Paul Buttigieg is Lee James. And then Colton Atkins in third place. Who's Bus in fourth? Andrew Ferguson is going to be in fifth to redeem himself after being caught up in that incident in race 2. He'll be there. Sixth place for the haircut in Brody Barber. Remo Grant will get 7th. 8th on the grid for the Birdman, Lee Crowther. The old Rem himself, Ezra Simmons, in 9th place. Clint Olive gets 10th. Corks in 11th. 12th for McFadden. 13th. 14th, for Fitness. 15th for Jake Buttigieg as well. It's going to be interesting. Where's McEwen? He's not here. Oh, McEwen is gone. He let me know that he would not be here. So everyone behind him has been promoted up to the front of the grid. But we are about to go racing for the last time here tonight in round 3, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in. This one could be a belter here as we've got 6 lights up and we are just about ready, and off we go. And that is a good start there from Lee James. This is a good opportunity for him, but Paul Buttigig's right next to him as well. So they're all going to stream down into turn 1 and get themselves out the other side pretty neatly, in fact. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. Bit of contact. Oh, that's the Birdman and Colton Atkins and Thomas Marzella all disappearing into the infield where the walls are visible but invisibly contacted, and that is disaster. You can see them all trying to get back on the grid. That's the head of the cheese board there. That's Marzella as well going for it, but it's all happening up and down the field again. The mid-pack is getting feisty here in race 3. They all start to lose their heads, and you can see that. Look at Ferguson just getting pushed wide there by Paul Buttigieg in the foreground. Goodness gracious me, is that aggressive here? What can Fergo do? Is he going to take it off the old Paulie? And he looks like he has, because Paul's just sent it too wide, and he's going to lose 1 place, maybe 2 there too. Remo Grant as well, so they're all single filing their way through again. Let's have a look here on the apex to see how they all navigate that one. Goodness me, look at Corks there involved in that one. Jake Buttigieg's trying to get back through the field. There's Sam Bensley in the Zampmobile going for it as well for ARD Importing. And boy, oh boy, in the fair dinkum department, have we got a race on our hands here in the background. Look at the haircut and Brody Barber going at it right next to each other too. Into the stadium section we go. And racing once again, ladies and gentlemen. There's only a couple of furlongs between these guys and the lead pack here. Cracking stuff. Look at Clint Olive just get out of the way, giving no racing room. In fact, to do the opposite. He's giving plenty of racing room. Oh, there's McFadden off in the background. He's on the bunda. He's nearly collected William Wallace there. And the man who got the podium in race 2 is way, way, way back there now, unfortunately. That is your opening lap there, Peter. Wowee, all happened.
It really did, and there's been plenty of big movers through the field. Unfortunately for Paul Buttigieg, it's going to be a big move backwards, because he's gone from the front row down to 6th position, so that's a good handful of positions lost. But we're looking now at Tommy Corks. Is he going to be able to make this 3 wide? He really did think about it, but he thinks better of it. He knows he has to keep his car nice and clean and get to the end, because out of the main leaders that we've seen with the pace, he is right there up the front with Crowther as well. So expect him to try and get himself to the lead fairly shortly, because the field is still relatively bunched up towards the front, and that looks like it was a big mistake from Ferguson maybe. One of the cars looked like he had the rears all locked up, and that's Fitness. Fitness has gone for a spin. There's chaos all the way back down the field. Buttigieg's involved, and they keep piling in the back of the parabolic corner, and it is going to really mess around with the order that we just saw, but that is going to be detrimental for Fabian Fitness with that spin. That's going to be a big loss of time for him. He still finds himself inside the top 10, so he's still found himself with a net gain from where he started, and he's still got plenty of time, 14 minutes left on the race clock, to try and get himself further up the field, to try and get those points. But crucially, he is ahead of Jake Buttigieg, who now I think was also involved in that and finds himself a little bit further down the field from where Fitness sits. But the battle is brewing ahead with, there's Buttigieg in 15th position as Lee James sets the pace. And I think that lap time's just going to keep going as the field spreads out a bit. They find their own real estate, and they set themselves the target of catching the car ahead. And if you're James, you're trying to make sure that you make the cars in your rear view vision mirror ever smaller as Quarks looks to the outside at turn 2. Is he going to be able to get the move done? He gets the power down, and that is himself now up into 4th position.
Yeah, good little tussle there. So is this man. He's way on the move here is Fabian. That was Simons and Moore just nearly getting together as well. But Jake Buttigieg's sitting down in 15th. Unfortunately for him, he's had a mare. He has not got anywhere further than where he started this one as Jaco. And up the road is this man on your screen, Fabian Fitness, for the championship. So big ramifications there. Look at Remo Grant, though, who's not letting go of Tommy Corks. He's on fire here, is Remo. He finds some pace in these cars, and he's been showing some hints of absolute brilliance this season. It's only been 3 rounds, but I've been dead set impressed here by Remo Grant, as is the Birdman too. Him and Fergo are going at it. That's where Fergo and the Birdman and Paul Buttigieg got caught up in the last race there to take all 3 of them out. In fact, but none of the sort here at the moment. The Birdman has got the job done on Fergo. Aaron on the outside, Trailer Park Girl style he goes. Gets the P2 that he so desperately wants and needs, because Lee James is skipping away. 1.3 seconds is the gap between those two, and they're going for it. But Boba and the Wallace, the William Wallace from Braveheart are there too, and Fabian's just so opportunistic. Sees that one coming. Aggressive moving and shaking here from Fabian. They just nearly touched there as well. Wallace had to get out of that one. Fabian just ploughed his way through that little battle pack and is into 8th place with the haircut in front of him looking very tasty. Who's next on the menu here for the carving? It looks like at the moment Fabian's just pushing it to the nth degree. That's going to hurt him. William Wallace has probably seen that now. Fabian's gone defensive here as well, so he's not going to give up P8 easily, is the big man. But look at the closing distance between all of them. Fitness nearly wipes the front of the haircut of his car into his rear bumper. That is a little bit of an overshot there for Barber on the exit of the corner now. He's got a suck here with Fabian. This is going to be good. He's flying down the back straightaway here now. As we get left, get right up the inside for the braking manoeuvre. Straight down the inside. Those Fabian Fitness go. He gets it in. Into P7 he goes. Now he's just got the Hackster a good 4 seconds up the road to navigate. But the battle is on, because this man has also been on the charge, Peter. Simons. Oh, and William Wallace touched there. Came out the other side. But this battle is going to be heating up between these 3. Look out.
Yeah, absolutely. It is all on in this final race. So we've got to the point now where if you've had a pretty bad race 1 and race 2, leave it all on the line for race 3. And who's that? That pretty much cut the corner at the Mobile 1 corner. That is getting all 4 wheels on the inside grass there. That's definitely not the fast way to go, and they make the track a few meters shorter. But that's only going to cause the next corner to be a bit more difficult, as it is now Lee Crowther. He's got the run on James here, and is he going to be able to make some sort of move? He's got a real good run going through turn 1. Is he going to be able to make anything of this? He looks to the outside. He swings it back to the inside. Is this going to be a move under the brakes? He sends it deep. He sends it very deep. Is this going to allow James with a cut back? No, he can't. He blocks him off on the exit, and that was an absolute ripper of a move to take the lead. But he's got to be careful, because we've got a bit of a straight here, which is going to allow a bit of slipstream and a bit of help for James to try and get the lead back. Is he going to go for it, or is he going to just settle for a 2nd position? But he can't do that for too long, because look at that. It's Tommy Corks. He finds himself in 3rd with a really good run. Even with the wheel spin on the exit, he's not going to be able to take 2nd just as yet, but I feel like it's only going to be a matter of time.
Oh, it's only going to be a matter of probably a lap and a bit before Tommy Corks gets up into 2nd. Lee James is driving out of his skin tonight. Really good showing from the big man. He knows how to do it at the best of times, does Lee James. If he gets some clean air, he will be right up there for sure, as these guys start to battle out for the minor podium positions here. Ferguson, where came a proper, he was sitting in 3rd place himself and came off the circuit, found himself back down in 7th place. Not sure what happened to him, but the haircuts just had a mare there, and Ezra Simons just goes right around the outside, takes that one like candy from a baby into P8. Does Ezra go? William Wallace is coming though. So is Colton Atkins, Olaf and Buttigieg. So we have got a massive board of talent from 9th all the way down to 13th here, all coming into the one view very shortly indeed. The haircuts at the front of it. William Wallace is right there too. Colton Atkins is also sitting in there, because Clint Olaf knows he can get a top 5 as well. That's where his pace has been all night, and he's got the championship contender in front, the leader at the start of this round tonight. Jake Buttigieg coming at a rate of knots, because you can see that Fitness is in 6th place, 7 places down the track at the moment in the podium, in the championship placings. Is not ideal, but singing his way around the outside. He's just going to try and go the outside a long way around here, get the cut back onto the main straight. Away we go here for Jake Buttigieg. He's got the job done. William Wallace and Atkins have traded places though in the meantime, so Colton has got himself up into 10th place. He'll be happy with this one. And he's going to be able to defend that. On the right-hand side of the circuit is Hayden Wallace. And the inside is there Colton Atkins. Very aggressively shuts the nose off. And Olaf and him in William Wallace have come together. That's going to allow Jake Buttigieg through and take William Wallace's position as well. Buttigieg's going to try and send it up the inside as well on Clint Olaf if he can. He can't. He hasn't got enough overlap here. He's just going to have to single file his way through this tight section. Gets checked up as well. And that allows William Wallace back through too. Boy, oh boy, in the fair dinkum department, these boys racing hard here for the top 10. You will never get closer than that. That was so clean. Oh, no, William Wallace has absolutely turned himself around, inside out, back into the bunda he goes. He's trying to get it going again. He does, but that's promoted everyone up there as well. Ezra Simons has come into the pits somehow. I don't know why he's pitting, but that is disaster for William Wallace, sliding all the way down the grid to 20th place at the moment. And Brendan Hack here at this point in time has got Remo. Could be on here for a P4 is Brendan. He's just slicing his way, full aggression on the inside curb into turn 1. Dances it over the top of that, battles his way through as these blue flaggers get right out of the way. There's Ezra Simons there too, but Remo Grant driving out of his skin in 4th. This is a good little battle brewing here, I can tell you now, Pete.
Yeah, I absolutely love watching these cars go over the curbs. I don't know what it is, but if you take just enough curb, it just absolutely skyrockets your front wheels off the ground, causes a little bit of a mid-corner scare because you've lost steering, and obviously there's no steering when the front wheels are off, but that is Grand. Remo Grand has gone a bit wide, and that's going to leave him vulnerable to Hack now. Is Hack going to send it down the inside and hack his way towards a new position here? He cannot do it, and he will stay in 5th position, and that all started with a mistake in the braking zone, going through into the parabolica, into the shortcut section of the normal GP layout. A GP layout that's been used since 2002, mind you, so it's not like this layout has been here for some short amount of time. It's been here for quite a while, but the shortcut is definitely the right circuit, I reckon, for these cars, because it is absolutely providing ripper racing at the moment. And I reckon, despite the missed opportunity from the mistake from Grand, Hack's not going to let this one go away too much, as Crowther is still absolutely setting the pace up in front, but Corks is not too far away with his pace as well. The lead currently separated by 3 seconds. And so expect that to maybe come down a little bit with only 6 minutes left of racing, but the run is with favour of Brendan Hack. He's got it right alongside this time around. Is he going to finish the move down the inside at turn 2? The answer will be yes. Is he going to be vulnerable to the cutback? The answer, no, but he's going to have the slipstream and may have to go defensive in the next part.
Yeah, we'll see here, because he's got a beautiful run as Remo Grant, so he's fighting this position off. He hasn't given up, I can tell you that one, that he's on the wrong side of the circuit, but he's really, really deep on the brakes. Look at that for confidence there under the brakes. He can get that job done if he can. No, he can't. Unfortunately, that was Hackster's just on the slip angle, just pirouettes that car beautifully and takes P4, secures that one now. Here comes Fabian Fitness, however. Doesn't care about anything at the moment. He just knows that Jake Buttigieg's position is in 10th and he's in 6th, so it's coming closer and closer in the points for Fabian here over the championship at this stage. But Remo Grant's holding him up, something chronic here at this stage. Look at the two guys go flooring it into the stadium section, straight in as we go. Lovely, lovely circuit, Hockenheim. There's no breathing space really on this little national circuit. You only get one on that straightaway, and that's about it. Otherwise, you're just trying to apex it, brake, turn, throttle it out every single opportunity. And Fabian's just up the inside. Has he got the job done? He's going to do another move up there. He's been so strong, and he gets that position beautifully done. P5 for Fabian Fitness. He'll be singing to the high heavens here. He's on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Crowther, though, is still set the fastest lap of the race, a 28.8 on race fuel. They would have put him on pole, ladies and gentlemen, in the qualifying session. That is some pace there from the big man. Holy mackerel indeed. He's leading this one by 3.2 seconds with 4.5 minutes to go, so we've got to look out for him. Remo's not giving up without a fight on Fabian. Buttigieg and Olaf, though, are trading places here. Look at Jake up the inside. He's got that job done now on Clint Olaf. So another position for Jake. He's 4 away from Fitness, so the points are still in the way of Fitness's advantage here, but Jake knows that that is all up for the shouting. Look at Clint Olaf's run off the exit of turn 2. He's flying. He's trying to trailer park girl him around. That's Colton Atkins there. That's Thomas Marzella also in the infield, just sitting there doing nothing, having a good old Sunday look at it. Ferguson and Atkins are having a really good battle between these two guys. Absolutely loving seeing how they go about it. Ferguson's just full aggression. Colton is a little bit more, I guess, relaxed, so to speak, but it just shows that two different driving styles doesn't mean complete different pace advantages for the both of them. Fergo now. He's under pressure. He's got 8th place now, coming out of his grips because Buttigieg in Jake is flying through this field. He can see the championship getting closer and closer from P1 taken away from him, so he needs to get these positions with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left, Pete. This is very, very vital for his championship for Jake.
It really is, and there's almost contact on the little kink there heading into the penultimate corner, which could have ended in catastrophe, and I think it's slightly unsettled Jake because he has lost a handful of time and got it all sideways going over to the sausage curbs to the drag strip, and that's going to leave him vulnerable to Olaf now. Is Olaf going to look down the inside turn 1? He thinks better of it and tries to get the better run, but here is Brendan Hack. He's been trying to go away out of this position for quite some time. Is he finally going to be able to get the position? He has to be careful though, because if he runs himself deep, runs as well, Grand deep as well, James deep, it could mean Fabian Fitness could get the both of them, and Fitness, he's been very quietly chipping away in this race, starting from 14th, got himself now up into 5th, but he's battling for a podium position, so that's going to be one hell of a drive if he can get not only the position from James, which he has now just completed, but now next up on the chopping block will be Brendan Hack, and with the pace that Fabian Fitness has been showing at the moment, I reckon with the 2 minutes left, we're going to be having a battle right down to the wire, because it doesn't look like Hack's going to let a podium slip out of his hands anytime soon. But for a moment, Lee Crowther up in front, his gap was extending. I think he must have made a small mistake, or the tides are turning with the race pace, because that gap is now down to 2.5 seconds. So there's been about a 6 or 7/10 second loss in his lead. But look at the instability of these cars in the background. They're absolutely going at it as well between Bremo Grand and Lee James, and that is going to be for position 5 and 6. But we're looking at Fitness now, and he's all over the rear of Brendan Hack and around the outside of turn 1. I don't think we've seen that one yet tonight. And is he going to be able to get it done? He's going to be on the good side of the road in the braking zone on the traditional racing line. But he's on the wrong side of the road to try and get the position. It's all sideways on the exit for Hack. It's going to give the run to Fabian. They're side by side as they head into the Parabolica. They've got a big braking zone to deal with coming up next. We've seen plenty of people run deep into the corner. It looks like Fitness maybe broke a little bit early to try and get himself a cut back, but Hack is wise to it and will not allow Fitness through this time by.
No, this is cracking the stuff. This is for the final place on the podium, ladies and gentlemen. And the Hackster here is not giving one iota to Fabian Fitness. Doesn't care. He's just going to go hammer and tonga, because a P3 for him is beautiful, beautiful stuff in his household. The Hack household will be absolutely hacking up some biltong, I reckon, by the end of it, and maybe a couple of bourbons too if he gets a podium, because he's fighting off Fabian Fitness, the championship rival, for the lead at the moment, and he's doing a great job here for the Hackster, just getting that grip.exe in and planted beautifully here. This is going to be the penultimate lap that they are finishing right now. The last one is about to tick over, because Lee Crowther has gone across the line to take P1 in this one provisionally with 1 lap to go. 2.1 seconds between himself and Tommy Corks. That race pace that he had at 28.8 has gone skis. It is absolutely been disintegrated. 29s now for the Birdman out in front, who's going to take his first win. I'm pretty sure it is his first ever win in the Wednesday Cup if he can keep it together. Let's hopefully not commentator curse him out of that one. This is on like Donkey Kong. No, the Hackster is under all sorts, from the quickest man arguably on the circuit for the last 2 seasons in Fabian Fitness, and he's doing a perfect job here, Pete. This is fantastic racing. It looks like it's a good 0.6 of a second gap. Not close enough for Fabs here on the final lap.
Yeah, it looks like Hack has done everything needed for him to hold on to this 3rd position. He just needs to keep it nice and clean. Do not let the pressure mount to a small unforced error, because at this stage it looks like Fitness will be a bit too far back to mount any sort of challenge, as the overtaking opportunities continue to dwindle as the lap continues to tick down. The final lap of tonight's round in Hockenheim, and it is going to be a absolute thriller to the end, because you've got battles all the way up and down the field that we still have to keep an eye on. But it is going to be Lee Crowther. He has driven brilliantly, opened up an early lead. It was shriveled down towards the end, but he's held his nerve. He's held the charge from Tommy Corks, and he'll take the race 3 win here at the Hockenheim ring ahead of Tommy Corks, who sets the fastest lap on the last lap, a 28.7. Now that is some serious pace, and what a way to do it on the last lap of the race as well. Hack will hold on for a 3rd position ahead of the reigning champion Fabian Fitness. Grand will take a 5th position, and he'll be pretty happy with that one. James will cross the line in 6th position, Adkins in 7th, Buttigieg in 8th, Ferguson 9th, and McFadden, he will hold on to the remaining place inside the top 10 by mere 1 second to Olive.
Beautiful racing from everyone up and down the field. Birdman takes out his debutant win in the Wednesday Cup. He will be celebrating between now and next Wednesday. I don't think he'll be at work tomorrow, that's for sure. That is a beautiful drive from him. Tommy Corks, as we said, beautiful stuff for the finest lap of the race and the quickest on the final one too. Just doing great things as well. But the Hackster will be celebrating to heaven and high earth at this stage. A 3rd place for him in this one. He will be so proud of himself. He will be happy as a dog with a tin dick. I can give you the hot tip after this one. Fabian Fitness has been blindingly quick. He's had to settle for 4th in this one, but the big thing is the gap between himself and Jake Buttigieg. 4th place for Fitness, 8th for Buttigieg. Grand gets 5th. Lovely driving from this man as well. Top 5 in this league is something to celebrate as well. Lee James, what could have been for him? 6th place has to settle for that. Colton Atkins gets through in 7th. And with, as we said, McFadden rounding out the top 10. Olaf gets 11th. My bus, your bus, anyone's bus, 12th. The Religious Tree in 13th. Jake Buttigieg's dad, Paul, has to settle for 14th again. He started close to the front of the race and just got swamped early on in this one. The Haircut gets 15th with the top 15. He'll be happy with that. Sam Bensley for ARD Importing, one of our main writing sponsors here too, by the way. Has to settle for 16th, but anything inside the top 20 for him is a win. Any of your Zamp racing products out there in the real life as well, by goodness gracious me, go and get to this man, ardimporting.co.New Zealand. He's got all the gear ready to go, and that is a Zamp helmet, that is a Zamp suit, that is Zamp gloves, there's Zamp boots in there as well, all here and ready to rock. Get yourselves a deal with Sam Bensley for package deals, you name it. That this man has got all the answers for you as well for Sam Bensley. Maury and Caleb gets 17th place. Dante Zaya gets 18th. The old erection in Harden gets 19th place. William Wallace, absolute disaster for him. He could have been up there, right there for sure with 20th. And Ezra Simons has to settle for 21st. With Thomas Marzella just still sitting there. In fact, he's in the chat. And I tried to race 3 and it fell apart like a good parmesan. Well, how fitting for the head of the cheese board to say that as well. But it's been beautiful here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've got we'll catch up on the chat here really quickly just to close out proceedings. Fabian Fitness called Alex a dog there for getting him in race 1. Absolutely on like Donkey Kong. Good job, Jace, says Dean Verrill in BZR 5150 as well. Fabian Fitness says g'day, and g'day to Ron Marshall as well. To himself, been nowhere, just on holidays in Queensland, says Ron. So he's been up there. Good racing for the Birdman, says Dean Verrill as well. And Fabian's just gone bang with the super chat. Thank you all, and good racing, says Fabs. Well, thank you, mate. You put on a show tonight. And in fact, whilst you're still here on the server somewhere, I'm pretty sure, you get driver of the day for an absolute masterclass and fighting your way back through the field as well and getting yourself there. Fabian Fitness takes that driver of the day honour for a race 3 and round 3 of the Wednesday Cup. But it's good. It's great. It's fantastic. And I'll tell you what, Pete, I'm going to give you the opportunity here to give this round a rating out of 10.
I reckon you can't give it anything lower than an absolute 10. We've seen absolute pinnacle drives for the championship, and none other than Fabian Fitness as well, because starting right down at the back, that's every opportunity for it to go wrong, and it did go wrong in race 3. We saw him very early on get turned around, manages to claw his way back to 4th position, and that is why he's the reigning champion and leading the current standings of the Wednesday Cup Championship. So, and just in amongst all the battling we saw as well, we saw around the outside, we saw down the inside, we saw 3 wide, we saw 4 wide, we saw incidents of all kind. So I feel like there is no way you can rate it any lower than a 10.
Fantastic stuff. Couldn't agree any more there with Peter Clark there in the commentary box tonight. I've been Zach O'Reilly as well, and Pete has always been himself. This man, just as a bit of inside information, he'll hate me saying this, but he's a man who does some broadcasting himself and does shorts, and has never been used to the live calling. Can do 5 takes and get it right, but I'll tell you what, tonight he's put on a showing of just how professional he can be on the live broadcasting. So well done to you, Pete, and we'd hope to see you around here for a long time at Simsational TV as well. And it's been a pleasure to have you beside me in the commentary box tonight. But that is it. We are done. That is all over bar the shouting. It has been an absolute pleasure to call the action for you, everyone out there in viewership land tonight. Everyone in the chat, Fabian, Bradley, Cairns, Will Kirk, Fabian Fitness, Ron Marshall, the head of the cheese boards in there. Dean Verrill was in there too. And I'll tell you what, all the rest of his honourable mentions there as well. And the Hackster said PC reset for race 2 for him. So that's why P3 was on for him in the final one. He was fired up and ready to go. But that's it. We're all done, skis. We're all out of it here at Simsational TV. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, Peter Clark will always put the Superman in Clark Kent himself. I've been Zach O'Reilly, and guess what? You're not. And until next time here, it's been a Simsational TV production, and it's been brought to you by Bilco Pack, ARD Importing, Speed Nation, and SDT Driver Training, as well as our naming rights sponsors. Thank you for watching, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Keep it flat out.